base geometry, and now I want to make the context. And to do that, first I'm going to make the shade for this. And I'm going to move this up so I can see a little bit clearly. The fins are this deep, and so I can make fins by pressing on the rectangle and then just tracing over that. That's one fin, and I'm going to double click on that and press Control X. You'll see in a second why. So I'm going to cut that, and now I'm going to make a new object called a shading object. You see up here on the top there's this icon, which is a new Energy Plus shading group. I'm going to click on that and click into my my file, and then press Enter to enter that group. And you see I've got everything else grays out. If I go to Edit, Paste in Place, it will paste my geometry right where it was, but now it's inside the shading group, which is where I want it, because I want Energy Plus to understand that that geometry is a shade. If I click outside of it, you can see that well, it might be hard with this. I'm going to hide this for a second. There's two sides to this. There's a purple side and there's a gray side, or a light purple side. And by the way, in Energy Plus, the darker side is always the front face, and the lighter side is always the back face. In this case, it doesn't really matter, because you'll see it's going to both faces are going to shade. So now I can move this shade anywhere I want in the file, and in fact what I want to do is shade this window. So I'm going to move this edge right next to that window and align it with my floor here, so I've got it. And since this shade goes all the way up and down, it really doesn't matter to me how tall it is. Actually, if I go back to my section, I can see exactly how tall it should be. I guess it does matter a little bit. Some sun could theoretically sneak in over the top, so it's only that tall. Oh, look at that. I did a good job. So that's how tall it is. And the horizontal overhangs, you can see these ones are longer at the third floor. I guess these are shorter at this floor. I think they only align with the fin. So I'm going to make horizontal fins in the same way by using my line tool, which is, the shortcut is L, and I'm going to drag out and then over by pressing Shift and aligning to here, and then back, and then back, and that makes a whole group, or it makes a whole object. I'm going to double click and press Control X, and again I'm going to take my shading group, plop it down, press Enter, and then Edit, Paste in Place, and I've got a shade over that window. Actually, what I will do here, just for expedience, is to extend the entire length of the facade, like so, because I've got a shading device in each of these bays. And now I can actually copy this vertical to each of these using the same method. This is M and Control to each edge, and I'm going to use that. You see this times method, so I'm going to move to there and do 5x, and it will copy them all along. Bueno, so I've got my fins there, and now I need fins on the north side. I don't think that there's any horizontals on the north side, but I'm going to take this fin and I'm going to copy it over to the north side there, and then I'm going to rotate it by pressing Q, or this rotate, and then clicking on the bottom as a reference, and then 90 degrees, and Enter. And then I need to align this with the inside face of the window, and again like that, and I'm going to press 2x. Oh, there's something a little bit off, but I'm just going to move these. I'm going to manually move these over. There's some imprecision somewhere in my modeling. I've now got a whole series of OpenStudio geometry. I'm going to save this as 02 shading, because I've now added that .idf, and clear it and open it again, 02 shading.idf, and cross my fingers everything imports correctly. Excellent. So everything appears to be there.